What is it like being a Slovakian living in Jamaica? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, founder of Jamaicans.com, and today I speak to Veronica, Slovakian living in Jamaica. Hey, Veronica, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So, Slovakia, tell us a little bit about Slovakia and the town you're from in Slovakia.
Okay, so Slovakia, I love to say is Central Europe, but really it's Eastern Europe. We are right next to Ukraine or in between Ukraine and Czech Republic. It's a small country, a little bigger than Jamaica, but like small. We are not considered first world country, so I would say like second, not third, but not first. And
Okay.
I'm actually from Bratislava, which is the capital city of Slovakia, and I lived there for 16 years.
Wow. So tell us about some of your fond memories of living in Slovakia.
Oh wow, I'm more Jamaican than Slovakian at this point, or like for past few years, because I love Jamaica and like if like Jamaica has some success, like I'm all about it, and I don't have the same with Slovakia. So I mean,
All
I
right.
appreciate. I appreciate my culture because we do have culture. So it's not like some places in the world where you would say white people, whatever. So I appreciate that, and yeah.
So no memories of school there?
I mean, sure, but like I feel like I was very different when I was living in Slovakia. It never felt like I kind of belonged there. So I was never a
Okay.
people person, never like socializing. Yeah, so I don't want to say I have bad memories or anything like that, but it's nothing that would stand out.
So your formidable years when as we in Jamaica say you broke out, right? you you broke out when you came to Jamaica.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So tell us, how did you end up living in Jamaica?
So I lived quite a few places. So after I moved from Slovakia, I went to live in Prague, which is in Czech Republic. I studied there. Then I lived in Vienna for a while, also in Miami. But I fell in love with Jamaican culture. I grew up on hip hop culture, right? So that was pretty close. And then I used to be a professional dancer. I used to see like Sean Paul, Beanie Man, Elephant Man on MTV. And I was like, wow, what is this? I need to know. I started researching when I was around 17, and I found some Jamaicans already living in Europe now. That's 12 years ago, right? So I went, traveled with my friends, connected, and then ended up going to Jamaica in 2013 in the winter because I wanted to learn more about the culture from the roots. That's how I ended up in Jamaica. But that wasn't when I moved to Jamaica, just when I visited for the first time.
Okay. And then so you were living in Miami and then you said, I'm making a move. You just love it so much you're making a move.
Actually, I lived in Miami and then went back to Europe. And then one day when I finished with all of my degrees, because I was doing the international degrees like for Europe and then globally, and I finished, I was running my dancing school, doing 2 or 3 jobs, and just finished 2 degrees. I was like, I'm tired. I want to go to Jamaica. That's my like happy place. And I actually just booked a ticket randomly. And then I told my friends like, oh, I booked the ticket. If you want to come with me, you can. So I've never planned the move to live in Jamaica. I just came and then started extending, and then 6 years later, I'm still here.
What a story. So your friends are like, aren't you coming back?
So it's funny because like two of my friends actually came with me for like 2 or 3 weeks. But when I was leaving to that trip, me thinking I'm coming for like a month, that was my usual. My mom was like crying at the airport, and she was like, "You are not coming back. Like I can feel it." And she always know everything. So whatever she said in life actually happened, and she was right again.
Have your mom visited?
Yes, my mom has been here twice since I moved here officially, and actually even my little brother visited recently.
All right. So have you convinced them to stay?
I mean, I always think it like it's a backup plan. Like when I become rich, and I can have like a big house, maybe I can move them to Jamaica, because isn't that a like dream life? I would just take care of them and they can just enjoy everything that Jamaica offers. So I don't think they're opposed. My mom loves like summer, obviously, so having summer all year long. And my brother fell in love here like when he was here. So he's just like, okay, when next I'm coming to Jamaica, and he's there, you know. So yeah, maybe one day they're gonna move to Jamaica too.
Well, my next question almost sounds redundant, but I'm still gonna ask it. So, what do you love the most about Jamaica?
There's a lot. I mean, obviously, I love the culture. I love how friendly people are. The weather, which I already said, like I don't even own winter clothes again. If I travel to places where there's winter, I don't go in winter, only in summer. So I haven't experienced winter since 2013. So summer or like the weather must be the number one thing. Even though right now I'm like dying from the heat, but I still love it. Still prefer it over any winter.
So, what do you like the least about Jamaica?
When I was like preparing for this interview, I was thinking this is going to come, and I must say is the lack of customer service. That's the one thing I just don't
Okay.
like.
Soon come.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing, like the patience, and like that's his pros and cons about the time, because I would say the slow pace obviously is healthier when you think of it, but like the non-existing customer service at most places, that is sometimes really annoying.
All right. So, from a cultural perspective, you come to Jamaica. Is there something cultural that you saw in Jamaica to say, oh, this is very interesting or this is very different?
I mean the whole energy around Jamaican culture or the dancehall culture, because Slovakia, where I come from, or the countries that are surrounded, they're very conservative, and Jamaica, the whole energy is very raw and like sexual, which I love the raw energy, but that was very different, to answer the question.
So, what did you ever get to a point where maybe you were saying something to someone and they were saying something else, and you were both kind of confused in terms of just the way this whole thing is happening, or it could be a cultural thing?
Hmm, I don't think so. That happened to me in Jamaica,
Okay.
because I was like so into it, the whole culture and the country, even before I actually came to the island. And I was already friends with people from here and meeting them in Europe or like in the US. That I don't think I have had that moment.
Smooth transition right in.
The thing is, when I came here for the first time, I didn't understand them when they were speaking Patois, but I didn't have a moment where we wouldn't understand each other.
All right. So you sound like you're already speaking some pattern here.
I mean, I kind of don't like when like white people come to Jamaica and they force it, so I'm not one of them. But obviously, living here on daily basis, something just automatically, just become a part of my like vocabulary, or like even everybody tells me that my accent is like mixed with like the Slovakian or European and Jamaican, but just naturally, I'm not trying to force it. I will not come to you and be like wagwan and this and that just because I live in Jamaica. You know what I mean?
I
So
I love that. I love that. So, in terms of what you do, I know you are, and let me tell you, Veronica has an Instagram channel, which I'm gonna we'll talk about in a bit. I think Instagram, YouTube. She's on all the social media, really vibrant. Tell us a little bit about that, and tell us a little bit about what you do in Jamaica.
So I actually have a social media agency. So I run it, but I also do the whole strategies behind. So with different clients or businesses, I help them to grow on social media or grow their business thanks to social media. I actually studied media and communication, so it was always something I wanted to do. Well, back in the days, I didn't know it's going to be social media because they didn't exist, but I knew that I want to be kind of like a journalist or some type of media and communication, because I think I'm good at that. And communicating whatever is needed through the social media channels. But I especially focusing on Instagram.
Okay. What's your handle? I think you have maybe two, I think, if I remember correctly. One official and then one is yours.
So I have my personal, which is personal and business all in one, is Veroni with 3N. So you can find me there. And then also we have the Instagram for the agency, which is VA Jamaica. However, which is paradoxical, we don't really update it as we should because we're focusing on our clients. So that just more serve just to like contact us or to see what we do. So obviously we have the highlights or some of the work, etc. But it's not up to date as I would love to be. So I have to work on that this year.
It's like the mechanic or the barber doesn't have a good haircut. The
Yeah,
mechanic's
exactly.
car is the worst car.
That's
Uh,
exactly it.
it's everyone else except his.
Yes, so sometimes when I'm creating strategies for my clients or working on some content, I'm like, I wish I do this for myself.
So tell us about one of your funniest experiences in Jamaica.
Wow. So I actually want to share a little story that happened to me just recently, like a
Sure.
week, 2 weeks ago. I was shooting a music video as a director, and we were in a community somewhere in downtown, right? So we spent the whole day with the kids, etc. And they're like, "Oh wow, like where are you from? Are you from America?" And I was like, "No, I'm from Slovakia, but I've been living in Jamaica, and I came here 10 years ago." I mean, we spent like whole day together, so we chat a lot together. And one of the little girls, she was like 6 or 7. She came to me and she's like, "You have been in Jamaica for 10 years, and you don't have the accent." So everybody, the whole team just started laughing. So these kids has no filter. So that was like one of the funniest experience I can remember.
She's like, well, go on, you know, I talk like we.
Yeah, and I was telling her the same thing. I'm not trying to force it because I just feel like it sounds funny. You know, if it comes out naturally, cool, but not if I'm trying to be like super Jamaican. Like they would be like, "Oh, this white girl's just trying too much."
You just make sure you send me the link once it's out and I can see your work. And
Sure.
So in terms of food, what's your favorite two Jamaican food?
Okay, so definitely one of them is Aki and salt. No, Aki, just Aki itself. Not necessarily saltfish, even though I'm not vegan. I'm trying to be. So I've been doing like, a little changes over years so I can leave out the saltfish. So Aki, that has been my favorite ever since I came to Jamaica for the first time. And I love fried dumplings. I know it's not good for me, but I just love it.
Uh, I don't think I could ever touch ackee by itself.
Really? I mean,
No,
like,
I gotta have saltfish or salt pork. Eh?
okay. I don't eat pork at all, so I have never tried it.
Okay.
But I love aki like with seasoning and like some peppers and tomatoes. Yeah, that's my favorite.
All right. And yeah, dumpling, yes. Who can resist? No one.
No one actually.
So, what's your favorite place in Jamaica? If you said, okay, not working this weekend or I'm not doing this, what's your favorite place to go and do something?
I think my favorite place is Portland, especially Blue Lagoon. Like I cannot describe the peace I feel when I'm like just in there in the river. That's my favorite place for sure. I've been a million times. I always take everybody who visit me here over there. That's like one number one stop we like have to go. So that's my favorite place for sure.
All right, you must love it because the roads getting there. I mean, I know they're working on the roads now, but the roads, oh my gosh.
I don't love that part because I actually have a motion sickness. So if I'm driving through the roads and I'm not actually driving but being the passenger, like I get car sick. But the final destination is worth it.
Okay, so then since you said emotion sickness, I'm going to suspect you have never gone through Junction.
Oh, a million times because I visited Jamaica before the highway. So I've experienced it. And like when I was going to Ochi for the first time in like 2013 or 14, we drove through Junction. And when I reached Ochi, I was like, I had to like get out of the car and just like breathe for like 10 minutes because I was like feeling really nauseous.
Junction is the worst. I avoid it like the plague when I'm traveling. I
Yes,
would I would pay the toll every single time.
the same here.
So when you have friends who come and visit, I know Blue Lagoon is your secret place. What's the place that you tell your friends if you come, let's go here?
So I mean, my friends usually who comes to visit me are often, well, because who wouldn't want to come to Jamaica? They come and stay with me in Kingston. So we're trying to go to like nearby places like Bob Marley Beach. I love it like early in the morning or for sunset, or even Cane River, because I actually realize I love river more than beach at this point. And if we go like far, we're definitely going to South Coast, because I have my friend Emma who lives there. She actually she's running a South Coast Villas Jamaica, so make sure to check it out.
Okay.
We love to stay over there. Like White House is beautiful and peaceful, nice beaches. And even though I love Negril, I don't really go there because it's so far and I can't bother with the drive. But once I'm there, I spend like a week there with my mom and my brother when they came to visit me. I just the beach is. I wish it's like so like as close as Bob Marley Beach, you know.
Did you jump off the cliff?
Oh yes, I love adrenaline. So any cliff, any I like falls or anything like that, I am jumping. Like my mom hates it; she have like heart attack. But anything adrenaline involved, I'm in.
All right. I mean, I did the blue hole with
Mm-hmm.
a life jacket,
Oh, okay.
and it was quite a rush.
I love that part. You know, like you're falling and you don't know what's going to happen, and then you reach the water. No, I love it. I love the adrenaline.
So, I know you travel. When you leave Jamaica and you're somewhere else, what do you miss about Jamaica?
Well, weather first. Even though right now I just came back from New York and the weather was nicer over there because it wasn't as hot. But for me, Jamaica is home now. So every time I come back, whether I just go for a weekend or like for a month, when I come back and I just land and like exit the airport, I feel so grounded and like the smell of the air. So that feeling, like anywhere I am, even if I'm in Slovakia, I actually don't feel at home. Like I need to go back to Jamaica to feel grounded and smell the fresh air, because like obviously air in America or in Europe can't compare it with Jamaica.
Mm,
So yeah, I miss the feeling being here.
nice, nice. So, what advice would you have for someone who's saying, I'm thinking of Jamaica, I'm thinking of moving to Jamaica? What advice would you give them?
I have people asking me this often. Well, patience for the first, definitely, because Jamaica takes time. Everybody takes their time, which just like I said is good, because like slow pace lifestyle is healthy, but at the same time, getting through anywhere takes forever. So patience, and you really need to want it to be able to make it. I mean, generally anywhere, but I mean, from my experience in Jamaica, yeah, patience number one thing. And money. You have to come. If you want to move to Jamaica, you have to come with money, because it's gonna take time until you make some money. So you have to have something safe to survive. Because there's a lot of people who try that. I know they've been asking me, especially coming from Europe, and when money run out, they went back home because nobody wants to hustle. Yeah.
I hear you. All right. So, listen, Veronica, thank you again for spending some time telling us about your experience living in Jamaica. So, here is how I typically close out. What is your favorite Jamaican term? And it may be one that you use all the time.
Oh wow. Any term.
And
Um,
as long as it's not a bad word.
of course, no, no, no. I wouldn't do that. I'm trying to, even though I curse sometimes, I'm trying not to. So I wouldn't say it's my favorite. Um, I don't even know to think of that. I actually like when people, or like I actually use it by now. Cho, you know, when I'm annoyed or anything, I'm just like cho. But it's funny because in my language it means what?
Oh,
Yeah,
so it's almost like similar
yeah,
because cho is like cho, what is,
yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah,
And so it's like what?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So did you find yourself doing that with your mom and she heard you said cho and she's like
Yes, there's a lot of things I do or like say, and then I realize like she don't understand, you know, like it doesn't make sense. But she would think I'm saying cho, which is what, but I'm actually saying the Jamaican cho. So yeah, that has happened.
Veronica, again, thank you again. And I always say this one, lick more.
Thank you so for having me.
All right. Show some love now. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a video.